Hello, everybody. Very good. The countdown reached 0, which means that we are ready to start our session today. How are you, my friends? Before we begin, as always, it would be great if you could type in the comments box a quick hello, a quick yes, just to confirm, just so I get confirmation from you guys that you hear my voice, technology is on our side, and we are ready to begin. Okay? Today's a short-term session, get-together short-term GTPix. Get-together picks. We're going to be dealing with the AutoUFOs. We're going to be working with TradeStation, looking for market opportunities for the short term. Okay, so please go ahead and confirm that you hear me. Thank you so much, guys. No delays. Let's begin. I'll start with a disclaimer, as we always do. The following videos, clips, and demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results that you may receive on using our products. Out of the way, the next thing I would like to do while we are giving a couple of extra minutes is a little reminder of important things before we start. A quick reminder before we start with the short-term trades. I have a trade in the market, by the way. You may have seen it as you were connecting. Here's the trade, okay? So waiting to get short at this higher level. We'll see if the market goes to our entry. I'll talk about this trade in a minute. But as I was saying, tradewithufos.com. This is our website, and there are many reasons why this is important for you to know. One of the key reasons is the upper left together, where by clicking on this button, you get access to the whole schedule of sessions that are already scheduled, so you know when they will be happening. Today we are doing short-term, January 28, Monday, 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Next time we'll get together will be on Thursday 31st at 3:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Notice the change of time here. And it will be for longer term, okay? And then we'll get into the February sessions, and we'll talk about it when the time comes, okay? Very important, guys. There is a guide. We talked about that in the past, okay? Probably you have seen me talk about it if you have been with us before. Well, let me rephrase it because it's critical. But there is a guide. Like all products, you need to understand the product as you use it. Our app has a guide that you could use to become more familiar, okay? And this guide is available in two formats. If you love reading manuals, you have the PDF format of the guide for TradeStation 9.5 or TradeStation 10. If reading manuals is not for you, well, I still recommend you to read the guide. But if it's really not for you, then we have produced a collection of videos, which is kind of like the guide, but it's a little more entertaining to watch. And in a perfect world, you would do both. You would watch the videos and read the guide. That would be our very strong suggestion, okay? So you get to understand how the tool works, okay? One more comment. Examples. This is a very interesting section for you to understand what the app can do for you. Basically, here it talks about going long, going short, but also trading not only directionally, but also non-directionally, okay? And this implies the use of options. And yesterday we did a session together. It was a sharpening session, and we were talking about options. So we'll talk much more about that. But for you to be familiar with some of the things that we do, it would be important for you to read these. Also, the samples, which is a section where our users are posting and sharing trade examples, trades that they have executed themselves, that show up here on the website, even though at this moment in time, here we go, now it's coming. So the trade example are showing up here, and you can see some of those trades that you could use as an example on how to use the tool. And it would also help you to be able to use the tool more efficiently. But also, if you are still in the process of putting your trading plan in place, all those trade examples may be a great motivation, a great inspiration for you to design and define better and more rules on how to trade. Facebook, please, everybody, like us on Facebook. And it's not only because we want to be liked, of course we want, it's because this is a fantastic channel for us to communicate with each other also and share certain things. Okay, so it would be very important for you to connect with Facebook and like the page so you get automatic notifications of the things that we do, etc. If you are not a Facebook user or you are not a fan of Facebook, you can do the same with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional network. Okay, it's not for personal use; it's more professional. So maybe you prefer LinkedIn. But in any case, it would be important that you like us again. As I said, of course, we want to be liked, that's for sure. But really, the important thing for us here is also that we have a fluid communication. And same story with our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. Every time we do a session, at the end of the session, the recordings are posted, but there are more things that we will be posting in the future in the YouTube channel. So it would be important for you to subscribe, and very important, people almost always forget to click on the little bell after you subscribe. This way, every time we are posting anything, we are adding anything, we are rectifying anything, you get direct on-time notifications of that, and we are well connected. And the last one, guys, okay, and again, I know some of you have seen all of this before, the users that are watching us recorded, okay? The App Store of TradeStation, okay, the App Store of TradeStation, for you to be able to use the AutoUFOs app, okay, which I'm sure you all know, the AutoUFOs app is this app that shows you the UFOs here, right? So for all of you guys to be able to use the AutoUFOs app, you need the app running on your computer, and in order to do that, you have to subscribe. So to connect with the TradeStation App Store, the way I just did here, and I just copied the link for you. And now you would get in the search box, you would type UFO, click on the green button, a search would take place, and here's the app. And now you just need to click the button, and magic, you are subscribed. Now you have access to the app automatically. It downloads automatically inside your TradeStation platform, and you don't need to do anything from a technical point of view, okay? So very simple, and here we go. So time to trade, my friends. How is it going out there? How are you guys doing? How is it going? How was last week? How was the weekend? How is trading going? I would love if you could share a little bit with us in the comments box as we are running the session together. I would love to hear how is it going, because if it's going well, then that will make us very happy. And if it's not going well, I would like you guys to share some detail so we can support you better. Okay, so please don't be quiet, don't be shy, and share with us how is it going. Okay, guys, so we can be properly connected. Okay, good. So where are we at? Okay, well, we are looking at the S&P 500. We're going to be looking at Forex and futures today. It's intraday. I'm going to be dealing with small time frames, okay? Small time frames. Above, on the top of my chart, on the top of my screen, I have a chart, which is a 2-minute time frame. In the bottom part of my chart, let me say that again, in the bottom part of my screen, I have a chart, which is a 15-minute time frame, okay? And if you have been with us before, this is not the first time you see this, okay? So what are we doing in the bottom part? I am just applying a moving average. What are we doing on the upper part? I am simply applying the AutoUFOs, okay? The beautiful flying saucers that identify buy and sell on field orders for us, okay? And before the session started, I had an order in the market here where I was planning to execute a trade the moment the market would come to this red UFO, because at that time, okay, this price point of 2650.5 was kind of lining up. It was like maybe 3 or 45 minutes ago when I placed the order, and this was lining up with the moving average. Okay, but unfortunately, the market kept dropping, never came back, and because the market continued moving to the downside, of course, the moving average that is automatically calculated by the computer in the bottom chart, the 15-minute time frame, was updated, and as you can see, the average is going down. Every time the value of the average is lower. Currently, as we speak, the value of the average is 2647.96, as you can see in the bottom part of this box, correct? So obviously 96, let's call it 48, and my entry is 50. well, I got a problem. It means that if I get there, I'm going to be above the average. Okay, I'm not going to be lining up. So what I'm going to have to do is to cancel all those orders. I'm just going to cancel the whole thing, and I'm going to replan a new trade. Okay. I was hoping that instead of having the market going down, it would retrace a little more intensively to the upside, and we could get short together right at the beginning of the session. But obviously, we don't have the power to move the market. We have the power to adapt to what the market gives us, and therefore we're going to have to be adaptable and replan a new trade, given the fact that our rules are not met anymore at this point. Okay. So what are we going to do? Well, the market is falling, the trend is down, we want to short, okay, but we want to short inside of a green UFO, and to add more odds in our favor, we want the green UFO to line up with the average, okay? So again, the average is currently 2647.5, okay? We have a red UFO here located at 2648. I guess you are with me that it would make a lot of sense based on the definition, the explanation I just gave you. It would make a lot of sense to go ahead and set an entry, okay, located here, okay, a short entry located here with a protective stop here, okay. Why? Notice how the stop is above the entry. Okay, why do we want the stop above the entry? Well, very simple, because we're planning to short, and if we were to be successful, the market would fall. If we were to be wrong, then the market would rally. So now you start losing. Protect the risk using a stop order. So the stop is going to be above, because the bet is that it would drop, not it would go up, it would drop. Okay, that would be the idea. Okay, so short entry located here, protective stop there, and then, okay, and then we're gonna have to talk about what about my profit taking. Okay, so take profit below, and we're gonna have to define exactly where. Okay, so this is the thinking in the back of my mind at this moment in time, and now I'm going to be more specific with specific values, and we'll place the orders in the system. And of course, you guys know you can accompany me in this process, and if you want to execute the trade together, why not? Okay, of course, depending on your trading plan, depending on your level of experience as a trader, you of course need to ask yourself, do I want to take this trade with real money, with paper money, with a big size, with a small size? All of these are questions that you will need to answer for yourself. But from a point of view of timing, when to get in and when to get out, when to short, when to stop yourself, when to take profits, you could certainly follow me if you choose to, and we can do this together. Okay. So how is it going, guys? Please give me a quick confirmation on the comments box if what I just said makes sense to you. And at least, even though I haven't input the figures, the specific values yet, the rationale behind this trade is clear for you. Okay, we are betting on catching this trade, okay, with an entry at this level. Okay, and also just out of experience, right now, if I look at the clock, we are 1 minute and 15 seconds. Okay, 1 minute and 15 seconds away from 8:15 East Chicago time, which means that this moving average that is pointing at 2647.16 will update in less than a minute. Okay, so instead of planning a trade and then maybe I have to rectify it, okay, I'm just gonna wait less than a minute to get to see the updated value of the average. Okay, and because maybe the average is updated and now I'm gonna enter using the next red UFO. I'm not sure about that, but I'm kind of guessing this could happen because this average may drop from 47 to 45 or something like that. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna change my plan a little bit. Okay, so let's wait just a few seconds here. We still have 20 seconds to go. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Simone. How are you, my friend? Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Mark, thank you as well. So a few more seconds to go, and we'll have the update on the moving average. I'm just saving a little bit of time for myself. So 2, 1, and 0. Here we go. So a new value of the average has been updated and is now 2645.7. This falls under this guy. Okay, this falls under this guy. So something I could do, okay, and I need to give you an important explanation here. Something I could do is I could just move this down like that and do the same thing with a short entry using that UFO and the stop above. Okay, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, and here's why. This is the tricky part of the moving averages, okay? And the more time we spend together, I'll be giving you more and more insights, so you become a master of this approach. But the tricky part with the moving average is that they move, and I know it sounds silly, but it's true. So if this market was to rally up, and reaches our entry at 2645.75, which is more or less 2645.61. What's the problem? The problem is that the average would move up. The average would move up. And when the market reaches 2645.75, the average may be pointing maybe at 2648 again. Okay, maybe pointing at 2648 again. Okay, so and again, of course, you could certainly grab a calculator and try to anticipate the value of the average if the market goes up. But again, as a trader, you have to take quick decisions, especially in these short time frames, especially 50 minutes away from the market open. When the market opens, this is going to move fast. And therefore, what I'm going to do to make sure I don't miss the trade is I'm just going to treat those two red UFOs like if it's one. Okay, and unfortunately, they're a little far from each other. Okay, and therefore, if I was to enter below, we are talking about beginning price 45.25. So the short entry would be 26.45.25, okay? And the stop, if I was to use the one above, is 48.5. Okay, so 28.48.5. Of course, you need to give it wiggle room. So I'll add one tick. So if you were to do that, I mean, it's not like it's a crazy risk. We are talking about, like how much is this? Like 3.5 points of risk. It's not like it's huge, massive, right? But at the same time, it would be so ideal if instead of white space between those two UFOs, it would be so ideal if those UFOs were closer to each other. Okay, but it's not the case. Okay, so option number one, looking at the equity markets, which are about to open, would be for me to plan on a short using these two UFOs combined together, because somewhere in the middle we'll have also the average. The UFOs represent on-field orders. The average represent new on-field orders to be added to the market. So all of this together would increase the probability for a success, and therefore it would make sense to take the trade. But before I do that, since we are dealing with equity markets, I would also like to look at the Nasdaq. Because if the Nasdaq was to provide me a similar setup, but the UFOs were to be a little narrower or closer to each other, well, maybe I have a better risk management. Is that making sense? And maybe I would trade the Nasdaq instead of the S&P. So let's take a look. With the Nasdaq, same approach. Below, I got the 50-minute time frame. Above, I got the 2-minute time frame. If I look at the average, is 34.4. So 34.4 is more or less here. Okay, it's more or less here. But obviously, from here, from 34.4 all the way to here, okay, think about it, because as I said before, if the Nasdaq goes up, this moving average will start moving up slightly. And if it moves up slightly, let's say to 37, well, 37 is actually above, 37 is actually above the UFO. Is that making sense? And therefore, you will now be entering with a UFO, which is not a bad thing to be done, but at the same time, you will not have the extra assistance or help from the moving average, right? So, as I said, just like the S&P, it would be better to combine both. But notice how, in the case of the Nasdaq, those two UFOs are much, much further away compared to the S&P, where those two UFOs, I'm just reloading the chart here. Those two UFOs, come on, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for whatever reason, it's taking a little bit of time here. Here we go. So it just showed up now, right? So in the case of the S&P, those two UFOs, okay, and you can even see it visually, are a little closer to each other. Okay, so not an ideal setup, okay, but definitely a valid one. Okay, a valid one. It would be more ideal if those two UFOs were closer, as I said, and that would make us happier. But remember, we are traders. In other words, the discipline has a lot to do with also being adaptable. Okay, we cannot create market opportunities. We don't have the power to move the market, but we do have the skill to be professional and adapt to what the market gives us. Okay, so what the market gives us today is an opportunity to short at 45.25 with a stop at 26.48. And then when it comes to taking profits, okay, I could certainly plan my trade to take profits below, right in front of this green UFO. Okay, right in front of this green UFO. I could certainly do that. Okay, the only thing I'm going to do, just to be in a safe position, because remember, we said that we are relying on the trend defined by the moving average, isn't it? In the past, we talked about trend. I remember a session we conducted in January 6, if I'm not mistaken, and in that section we talked about what's the trend, and basically we said the trend is important and is not, depending if there is still room for the trend to continue evolving and expanding. And this will be shown to us thanks to the UFOs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the 15-minute time frame to see where is the next green UFO. And we need to be careful there because there is a green. Okay, so the scaling of don't pay attention to the scaling of the text here. Okay, but there is a green UFO located here in the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so the light blue line represents where the trend may stop going lower and reverse to become a new uptrend. Okay, if I look at the next time frame, like the 60, okay, well, it seems that we are trading deep inside a pile of on-field orders. So really, it's kind of like you got a green UFO in the 15-minute time frame within a green UFO in the 60-minute time frame. So there is certainly a decent amount of buy on field orders in this market. Okay, and therefore this line, this light blue line, should be respected, because if the market comes here, the trend may go ahead and reverse. Okay, so we need to be aware of that. In a perfect world, here's what I would love to see. I would love to see the market to reach the blue line, consume many of the on-field orders, and then go back up and then hit our entry, because now if it goes down, guess what? The green UFO that we now see in the 15-minute time frame, okay, that green UFO that we see in the 15-minute time frame will not be seen anymore if this market was to penetrate inside the green box, right? Because those on-field orders would be filled. At this moment in time, it hasn't happened yet. So my wish, again, I don't have the power to control the market, but my wish as the trader would be, please, market, be nice to us. Go down, hit the blue line, penetrate a little, remove the on-field orders, and then go back up, because that will allow me for my ultimate target to be much lower. But at this moment in time, I need to be respectful and have my take profit somewhere around the blue line. If I make my profit target to be much, much lower, I may not get there. The trend may go ahead and fully reverse. Okay, good news, my friends. We just hit the blue line. Okay, we just hit the blue line, and hopefully in let's call it 6 minutes from now, when the new candles form in the 15-minute time frame, hopefully that green UFO will be removed. Okay, but for now, I will be disciplined and plan my take profit at this level. Okay, guys, I don't want the trend to reverse on me, and then I was not able to take advantage of a trending market. Okay, so let's go ahead and place the order. Okay, we want to enter at 26.45.5, and to be honest, I'm going to be a little more demanding here because, first of all, the average is below that already. If the market goes up, I know the average is going to be higher than this value. So I'm going to propose to use the inner circle, which is where we should find the greatest concentration of unfilled orders. That's 26, 46, 75. So I'm going to move my entry a couple of ticks above, and this I'm just doing it to manage my risk a little bit extra, just because as I told you before, this trade has a little extra risk because the UFOs are far away from each other. Okay, I'm okay doing that because remember, normally I would not do this, but I'm okay doing that because I know, as I said before, that the average will move up. Right, and if the average is moving up, having an entry at 75 instead of 25, it's a better entry. It's a better one. Okay, so I'm just gonna the Alt key on my keyboard since I got chart trading activated. I'm just gonna go ahead and on the chart, right click. Sorry, not right click. I hold the Alt key and left click on my mouse, and I'm placing now an order to sell 2 contracts at 6645.25. Notice how I have selected 2 limit orders for target for profit taking, 1 stop order, and I'm doing this with 2 contracts. Okay, so I'm going to click yes. Okay, the order is now in the system. Of course, I'm going to have to rectify the location of my stop. Oh, this is the text. I'm going to move the text away. So I need to rectify the location of my stop to be above right there. We said 48.75. So here's where my stop goes. This is the stop for one of the contracts. Actually, I like to do this better with the matrix because it would move the 2 contracts in one shot. With the chart trading, you need to be careful because you have to do it twice. So I got my entry with 2 contracts right there. Wait a minute. We said 75. Yeah, sorry this. I used the wrong price point. Sorry for that. So we'll do 75. This is gonna move my stop to. Here we go. So we have 75. Here we go. Bring my stop down to 48.75. Here we go. So we have exactly 3 points of risk in this trade. Okay, we got the entry. When it comes to target 1, okay, is right there, automatically set up for us at 1-to-1. Let me double check the math is correct. I'll bring a calculator inside the main screen. Now we just need to wait 3 minutes for the market to open, and hopefully the initial fast speed when the market opens will help us to have a very good entry here. So we have 48.75 minus 45.75. As we said before, that's a risk of 3 minus 45.75. That will bring the target 1 to be 42.75. Okay, so 42.75, that would be target 1 right there. Okay, so this is what we call the safety target. Okay, so safety target. Safety target at 2642.75. What I'm going to do there is to get rid of half of the position at 1-to-1. That way, if I get stopped out, I have no profit, I have no loss. It's a pure break even. And then, as we said, we're going to set our initial target to be 26. Even though it's looking good for a target to be further away, but I will do that in 1 minute. For now, the target would be, okay, so that's going to be the final target. So final target would be located at 2637.25, okay? So I'm just going to grab this one and move it here to 25. And yes, okay, and this is the plan, which we're doing perfectly on time because the market is about to open in 30 seconds from now. Okay, so and by the way, probably the market when you hear me say that, the market may have opened already since maybe 10 seconds ago or something like that, because since I'm broadcasting this session via YouTube, Facebook, etc., sometimes this adds a few seconds of delay, guys. So that may be the cause, okay? But basically, in a few seconds from now, a new candle has formed, right? A new candle has formed. So let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame to see if we still got the green UFO. Okay, I would like it. Here we go. So it seems that we don't have the green UFO we had before in the 15-minute time frame. You guys see that? And this is a very good news. Opens up for the trend to continue expanding. Actually, there is nothing all the way to this very, very, very low price. Okay, so this 15-minute time frame may end up, producing a very, very nice move. Okay, so that, we are, we are happy because what I wanted to see on the screen happened. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to use the next UFO, which is the next UFO is right there. It's 35.25. Okay, so 35.25. So I'm going to move this to 35.25. Yes. And the moment I do that, now I just need to wait for the market to come to us. Okay. So let me rectify here in case you want to take a screenshot, if that helps you, so you have all the data on the screen to be accurate. Okay. So this is the trade that we have. And now we just need to wait for a few minutes for the market to come to our entry, just a few points higher, like 7 points higher or something like that. Okay, so normally right at the market open, which just opened, we normally experience nice price movement. It seems that the market is not too volatile today, maybe because it has been dropping already 1% during the Asian session and the European session. So maybe people are kind of looking at, let's see what happens before they start trading. But hopefully we will get to see a nice retracement. Okay. In the meantime, one more comment. Okay. And by the way, I've been talking nonstop since we started. You may have questions, guys. So make sure you type them if that's the case. In the meantime, I want to also revisit my moving average. Okay, my moving average here. So what is the new value of the average? Because we had a new. So as my new average has been recalculated. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm dragging the screen here. So as my moving average has been recalculated, we may need to use the bottom UFOs now for the entry. Okay, guys, we may need to do that. So let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at what is the value of the moving average, which is 43.6. Okay, 43.6. Yeah. So this is one of very hard the way it is. It keeps forcing us to rectify the trades, and in this case, it's looking like the right entry now would be the next UFO. Okay, so it's a pretty strong drop in price. The retracements that this market is doing are very shy retracements, just retracing a little bit and just falling down, retracing a little bit, just falling down, retracing a little bit, just falling down. And as long as the market keeps behaving in this manner, the average below will keep recalculating, and new UFOs will keep forming. And then, our job as traders is to readapt. Okay, so I'm just gonna cancel everything. Okay, use discipline and a professional approach to trading and redo the whole thing, moving the whole thing down. Okay, so now I'm going to use those two UFOs for my entry. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again. So 42.5, that would be my entry, and the stop is going to be 46.25. Okay, 46.25, right above 46, and I'm using the inner circle like before. 42.5 is the inner circle, so those are gonna be the values. Okay, so let's do it. Inner circle, Alt key, click on the chart. So we are entering at 42.75. Well, okay, I was not precise enough clicking. I'm gonna have to rectify this later. Let me click on yes, so I have the order in the system, and then I can manually go ahead and rectify. Okay, so I'm just gonna move using the matrix. For certain things, really, I like the matrix much better. So 42.5, and then we're gonna have 46.25 for the buy stop. So 46.25 is right here. Okay, so 42.5 for the entry, S for sell, 26.46.25. This is the stop, B for buy, S for stop. Okay, and then again, same as before, calculator is on the way. So we have 46.26 minus 42.5. How much is the risk? 46.25 minus 42.5. We're talking about 3.75 points of risk. If I project this below 42.5, that would place my target one located at 38.75, which is right here. 38.75. This is my safety target. Okay, at 38.75. And then my final target, I'm gonna set it right here, the next UFO, and that is 29.75. Okay, that's where we're going. So 29.75 is where we want the target to be. I went way too fast with my mouse. $29. Okay, I think I'll rectify it later with the matrix. $29.75. Wait a minute, guys. I think I was making a little mistake here. I wanted to use the dotted line as a target, not the round circle. So let me click again. That the dotted line is 32.25 exactly. 32.25. Sorry, guys. I was looking at the wrong value. 32.25. So it would be one more tick. That's it. Cool. So we have it. And now again, 15 minutes of patience, and everything will recalculate in 15 minutes. Okay. And when you're doing this type of short-term trading, again, everything is recalculating every 15 minutes, and you need to minutes because you're using the 15-minute time frame. Okay, below. If you want to do this quicker, you can use a smaller time frame. If you want to do this more slowly or more relaxed, then you can use a little bit of a higher time frame. Okay, and every few minutes you need to review, depending on the time frame that you use below, where the average is applied. Okay, because the average is doing two things for you: is showing you what the trend direction is, and second, it's also adding an extra probability of new unfilled orders hitting the market after you enter the market yourself with the AutoUFOs, and therefore you're adding odds with the bottom chart. Okay, and you become precise with the entries and the exits with the upper chart with the AutoUFOs. Okay, so you're doing all combined. So since we need to wait a few more minutes, we still got 6 minutes to go for the new candle to begin forming below. Since it seems that you guys are good based on your comments. Oh, that's a very good idea. Let me share your message, Mark, with the rest of the group. okay, with the rest of the group here. So Mark says that I put the moving average in the status line so I could see it easy. Okay, so that's something that you can certainly do as well. Okay, you can do that. Okay, so you can come in here. Okay, double click on the white space. Okay, and now in the status line, you could decide to add your analysis technique right there. And when you click OK, now you can see the value of the average is right here. Okay, 2,642 point something is right there. So you can see it here on, you can see it here, but you can also see it here. Okay, which is quite convenient. Okay, so anyway, we'll wait a few more minutes. Thanks for the tip, Mark. Love the teamwork. And in the meantime, we are also going to take a look at the UFO lab with the FIPS. Okay, so we have two tabs here in my TradeStation screen. One tab for UFO FIBO lab, another tab with the exponential moving averages. Okay, and therefore we can also go ahead and apply what we learned in prior sessions concerning to FIPS. Okay, if you notice, and little by little, that will be my intention. When we started doing get-together sessions at the beginning, both for short-term or longer-term, I was taking a lot of time to explain and repeat myself. And today I'm taking a little less time to repeat myself, because ideally what I want to do is that we get into this routine to plan a few trades using a few methods. So every day that we get together, I can give you multiple trading opportunities that are actually actionable, and that way you can learn better, have key decisions for your own trading plan, but also most importantly execute a few trades together. So today I'm giving you less theoretical explanations, and I'm looking for planning more trades, which again, that depends on market conditions too, right? So we just planned a trade with the S&P in the other workspace. Now I'm gonna plan a trade on the Nasdaq using this workspace, and to also give you a little more variety, I'm gonna use the 15-minute time frame combined with the 4-hour time frame. So if you remember what we did the other day to do FIPS, let me see. Let me delete all of this so we start from scratch. Okay. So if you remember what we did the other day, we plan on a trade, which, by the way, the trade that we plan, the long trade, that one didn't work well. Okay, and I would like to go over the method one more time, so you get to understand what we did, and we also end up with a trading opportunity that hopefully we can execute later on. Okay, so go ahead and looking for changing the style of my chart to be line on close. Okay, so I can identify those obvious high, obvious low, obvious high, obvious low, obvious high, and obvious low. Okay, now back to my chart. Using candlesticks. Of course, those highs and lows really are set by the wicks, and we don't see the wicks in the line chart. So this one is fine, is pointing at the high. This one is fine, is pointing at the low. This one is fine, is pointing at the high, low. That one I need to move one candle to the left, that's the high, and that one I need to move one candle to the right, that's the low. Okay, so now that I have this, I would then do what we did the other day. Right? I would, let me do this. I just want to find the best setting to be visual for you guys. I want to make this big. Here we go. So now we can be a little more visual. And remember, we were dealing with fib projections and fib expansions, right? So if you want to deal with the expansions, okay, you need to look for low, high, low, and then high, low, and high, right? So let's begin with the low. So Fibonacci projection first. This is the low. This is the high. and this is the low, and here are your projections. If you look at the highs, so you would do, this is the high, this is the low, and this is the high. Wait a minute, I don't understand why this thing started. So this is the high, this is the low. Okay, now yes, and this is the high. Okay, so here are our fib projections to the right side for the up move and the down move, and then also we need projections going down from the high to the current price, and projections going up from to the higher price. Okay, and all this craziness of lines is now alleviated the moment you switch to the 15-minute time frame and you turn on the UFOs, which I'm going to do in a second, guys. Okay, I don't want to drive you crazy. I'm going to come back to this in a second, but because we already passed 8:45 for the moving average, and therefore there is a trade to be replanned here, or maybe yes, maybe not. So we have the average here is 26.41.75, and I mean, notice that if this goes up, this 41 may become 42, 43. So really, the entry that we have is still valid. Okay, so guys. So really, in this case, we got nothing to change. The only thing to change is, and we target. Notice how we got one taken away, which is a normal thing because we are in a downtrend, and in a downtrend, often buy orders would be canceled. Just like in an uptrend, sell orders would be canceled. So the AutoUFOs identified green UFOs, but those didn't produce anything significant because many of those orders were canceled because it's a downtrend. Okay, but what's the good news? Well, the good news is that now, instead of having a target at 32, we could actually set our targets to be 28.75. Okay, so more room for profit is opening up. Another way to say that is patient space, because sometimes we lose patience because, you know, we want to get the entry, and because it's not retracing, we get a little impatient. It's important to be professional at all times and keep that patience, okay? Because patience pay, okay? Notice now we just open up more profit margin. So if in the end we get an entry, this trade is likely to work even better than before, okay? So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna just save here. So we have our parameters. Go back to the Fibonacci Lab workspace and continue with the preparation of the next trade to be taken. Okay, so we are looking again. I got my EML Lab. Okay, activate the UFOs. Okay, I'm in the Fib Lab now. Notice that with the EML Lab, I'm trading the S&P. With the Fibo Lab, I'm trading the Nasdaq. On the EML Lab, I'm using the 2-minute time frame, where with the Fibonacci Lab, I'm using the 15. Okay, you could certainly invert these. Okay, guys, you could certainly use the 2-minute time frame with the Fibs, you know, etc., etc. But you know, this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're doing. Okay, so what do we have? Well, notice how these UFOs got one Fib lining up. Okay, so you know what? This one it's okay. Okay, because we got a Fib lining up where the UFO is. Okay, this one, same story. Okay, that one it's okay too. Why? Because we have the Fib and the UFO. This Fib, that Fib, that one, and that one, we just ignore it. Why do we ignore it? Because there is nothing lining up. So we just forget about it. Okay. What about this one? This one has 2 Fibonacci lines lining up. Okay, so that makes it more relevant. Okay, so this one is better than okay. Okay, that one is higher probability, and if I was to plan on a trade, this would be my favorite bet. Okay, is that making sense? Now, careful. Remember earlier when I told you the trick of the moving averages is that every 15 minutes you have to recalculate? Well, the trick of the fib is that this Fibonacci calculation going from the top, moving down towards the bottom, okay, was in the right place up to when the market started moving down, because now, you know, if this market turns, okay, from here to here, retraces and go back to the UFO, and then from there, as expected, okay, this market, let me draw it so you see it visually in front of you, and then from here, this market just drop, okay, that would be great. But if that's the case, this Fibonacci needs to go to the bottom part of this candle. And that's a tricky part with the fib, that you need to be watching for how far the market goes before it retraces into your levels, because in that case, we got two fibs lining up with each other. Earlier, those two fibs, if I move back to where I was before, those two fibs were very close to each other. But now that the market kept moving and moving and moving, notice how those two fibs are not too close to either. Good news, they're still within the UFO, so this is still a good. On top of that, you also have the projection too, so you actually have three Fibonacci numbers in this place. It's looking like an interesting place, but notice as well that if this was to keep going down, okay, let's say this was to go down more, well, now there is a moment in time where either a new Fibonacci line will appear, or if it keeps going and going and going, it could be, okay, that you only have one Fibonacci retracement line instead of two. Why? Because the market kept going lower. Okay, so you need, the tricky part of the fibs is that you need to keep watching for that particular ending candle, setting up the low or setting up the peak. So when the market comes back into your UFO, you are positive that it actually makes sense. Okay, so at this moment in time, with the information we have in front of us, and the market is coming back to this place, it seems that we may have an entry. Okay, we may have an entry if it comes in here, because we have multiple Fibonacci numbers lining up. Okay, and if you think about the space between this UFO and the next green, there is a decent amount of white space in between, and the white space is something that we love, because the white space equals the amount of money you're gonna make. Okay, if the green and the red UFOs are too close to each other, you don't have much room for profit. If the UFOs are far away from each other, well, then now the market just open up a nice path for the market to keep moving in that direction towards the next UFO that happens to be far away. That equals profits to be made. It's not a lot or not too little either, but it's, you know, it looks okay, it looks decent. Okay, so we have a nice amount of white space. Okay, so if the idea would be to have a short entry at this level with a protective stop above, okay, and you can certainly have a safety target somewhere in between, and then to have a final target where the green UFO is. Okay, that could be a valid trade. And I am aware that there is a lot of things written on the screen. This may be a little overwhelming. Okay, I'm going to give you figures in a minute and place the order, and hopefully this will clarify. But on the screen, basically, as a trader, you would be attracted to this UFO more than any other UFO because of the fact that we got three Fibonacci numbers lining up with that UFO. Okay, how is it going out there, my friends? Please give me a quick, yes, good, not so good, too fast, too slow. Any feedback you have for me? just let me planning on these trades. I'll be planning the order. I'll be placing will be over. So I want to make sure that apart from getting the execution and the orders and the prices and everything, you also got the rationale behind it. So you actually understand, what we're doing, okay, instead of simply following, okay, which it's okay to follow, but I will need you to do it consciously, okay? Okay, it seems that you guys are good. Perfect. So again, so ready to put those figures in place. Left a little bit. Click on the UF. To the right a little bit. A little challenge for space here on the screen. So we have a 6690 and 6706.75. That will be first stop. Okay, so 6690 would be the short entry. Okay, protective stop would be 6706.75. Okay, those are the values that we're going to use. If you were to do this type of an entry, move to the left, bring the calculator into the equation here. So 6706.75 minus 6690, we're talking about 16.75 points of risk. If I project this to the downside, below 6690, that would make my safety target to be 6670. And my final target would be this green box located at 6648.75. So 6648.75. And again, remember what I told you about the tricky part of fibs? Okay, well, notice how this line has been pierced. Okay, so my fib now, and the way I like to do the fibs is by activating the snapping. Okay, so I'm super precise to the numbers. Okay, and notice that at this moment in time, I still have 1, 2, and 3 Fibonacci numbers here, but I need to watch for that. Okay, and apart from the tricky part of fibs being that price point that you have to watch, so you know this line is precise because this candle obviously is moving, may create a new low. The other tricky part, and this applies to all trading plans, no matter what you do, is that maybe before this market comes back into this red UFO, it may come in here and touch this green UFO. And if it touches this green UFO and the app, the AutoUFOs app, concludes that the unfilled orders are gone, then good news, this green box would go away, and that would open up for the target to be further down, opening up for more profit. That would be great. But at this moment in time, we don't have it yet, so this is what we have. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Well, right click, activate chart trading. Okay, with the 2-minute time frame, I prefer to use the matrix. But when you are dealing with 15-minute time frame, larger time frames, there is too much to drag up and down. So chart trading is something I like better in that case. So I'm gonna attach OSO. Instead of one exit, I'm gonna pick 2 exits, 1 stop. Okay, I got 2 contracts as well. And now, just like I did earlier, I'm just gonna come here into my 6090 right there, and I'm gonna hit Alt click. This will give me an opportunity to sell 2 contracts at 6090. So I'm gonna click yes. The order just was put in the system. Okay, I'm gonna take my stop and move it above, right there. I'm gonna take my final target and move it below. right there. Here we go. And then the safety target, we said I needed to be 73.20. So 5. Wait a minute. I just clicked on the wrong place, I believe. Yeah, I clicked on the fibs, guys. Sorry for that. Normally, when I do this for myself, I would delete a lot of information from the screen. But in this case, just to be visual, I kept a lot of stuff. Okay, I got it. So 73.25 right there. Here we go. So I have it. Okay. So now I'm just gonna move this down here. So in case you want to take a screenshot, so you have it. Okay. Even though I did move my lines a little bit there. So we have the short entry here, and we just need to be patient with Nasdaq to come to this level. And before we conclude the session, because it is the time now, I'm guessing that you guys are taking screenshots and notes of all of this. Milan, I see a comment about the. I don't think it is. Maybe it was just an internet issue. Oh, good now. Okay, I hear you. And then the EMA. So back to the EMA. So I'm just gonna restart here the AutoUFOs. And what do we have here? So we have a new EMA now trading at 38 point something. 38 point something is now here. So guess what? This plan is not valid anymore. The entry here is a little too high now. So I'm just gonna cancel all of this. Okay, one of those days when the market keeps pushing, it's not retracing. At the same time, it's not pushing too hard, to be honest, since the market up and it just dropped 0.2%. It's a little boring, to be honest, but it's like that sometimes, and we need to be at. I'm gonna enter here at 37.5. Stop will be 26.41.25, and I'm gonna recalculate the other values in a second. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna set up my trade right now. Do we have no green UF? What about the 5? What about the 15? Yeah, the 15-minute time frame has a green UFO located right down here at 26.22. Okay, so my final target will be 26.22. Okay, final target. This could be a very nice trade actually. Will be 26.22, and the one, sorry, that's not the safety target. That would be the safety target needs to be calculated. Okay, the final one would be 26.22. So let me place the order. Let me recalculate the safety target, and we'll call it a day. Okay, so from 41.25 to 37.5, we're talking about 3.75 points of risk. If I project this below 37.5, that would be 33.75. Okay, so 33.75, 26, 33.75, that would be the mechanically calculated one. Okay, so let's go for it. We are looking at, here we go. So entering the order, 37.5 two contracts. Yes. Very good. So we have everything. Our stop will be 41.75. Sorry, 41.5. This is our stop. Target 2. Final target. We need to push it down to 22. Here we go. And finally, safety target needs to be 33.75. Which is right there. Okay, well, I was looking forward to executing this trade together. Yeah, I still need to move one of the stops here. Okay, now I have it. So I was looking forward to executing this trade together with you guys, but it seems that the market started, really moving down, and not much has happened. But here's the plan. Okay, so you guys keep watching these every 15 minutes. With the Fibo Lab, we have the other trade ready as well. This thing has moved down a little more, so you will need to readjust. Remember these things, okay? The trade is still valid, so the trade is there. Okay, guys. Good luck with the trades. We will. How was it today, guys? Before we go, and as you guys are answering this question, quick reminder one more time: get together. Next time we'll get to see each other. It's gonna be Thursday, January 31st, and it's about to load here. 3:30 p.m. US Eastern Time. Okay, so see you in 3 days, 5 hours, 22 minutes, and 53 seconds, my friends. It's been a pleasure to see you. Talk to you soon, guys. I see all your comments. It seems that all of you are good and happy. Okay, so that's wonderful to see. Take care, my friends. See you soon.